we start the show.
Yes.
How many states have you been to?
Oh God.
How many states have I been to or passed through? Is there a difference?
I'm gonna say if you cross state lines into that state for any length of time, it counts.
Let me pull up a map.
United States. Yeah, yeah. I thought about doing countries first, but I haven't been to that many countries outside.
Does a layover count?
Sure. I'm just saying if you've spent any length of time.
All right, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Should have thought of this before. This is not good podcast content 10, to just count states.
I'd say about 15.
11, 12,
15 to 20.
13.
That's a
14,
decent amount of states.
15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23,
Welcome
24.
to Counting with Bobby.
Let's say 25 to 27, somewhere in that
That's
ballpark.
A lot of states.
Yeah.
That's like half the country,
Bobby.
dude.
Yeah. I listen. I touch grass, okay? Don't let the gaming podcast fool you. I've touched grass, and here's another fun fact about me. My wife and I collect magnets. Specifically,
how do they work?
Okay.
Specifically based off of we get 2 different types of magnets every time we take a trip. We've got the actual I guess it would be 80s, maybe 70s is when that style came out of the state outline magnet that's different color. And so we've got that on the side of our fridge where we're trying to build out the map, but then we always get kind of a cheesy, we got a magnet from Bar Harbor that's Baja, but it spells it out that way. We do a cheesy kind of kitschy magnet from the area that we're at alongside a state one.
My mom would try to do that with shot glasses for me. It was oh, I'm going to start a collection of shot glasses for you. And it's I don't.
Yeah,
I don't take shots.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen you take a shot.
I mean, I've taken shots, but I don't take them at home. I don't need shot glasses, and I certainly don't need shot glasses from all these different fucking places. So that it's 18 for me. So let's ask this question: What's your favorite state that you've been to? That's obviously Missouri, because Missouri's the best state. We all know this.
It's great. It's so wonderful here.
No one's ever had a bad
this
thing
one's
to say
really
about
tough
Missouri.
for me.
Oh, hang on. I've been to 20. I forgot it.
Oh,
I've been to Wisconsin and Michigan. There
Your
you go.
mistake.
I really loved California when I was out there. We were even scheming for a way to move out there, and then Jude was born.
I could not see you in fucking California. Changed. Jesus Christ, that would be hysterical.
Yeah,
but
you would
talk about putting lipstick on a fucking pig.
in multiple ways. In both the sun would burn your pale skin, and also forest fires would just murder you.
Yeah,
you would be dead right now.
Yeah,
I
don't. That would have been a bad move in the long run.
Yeah, I lived in Colorado briefly, and that occupies a very large part of my heart. But because I've lived there and I've had a great time there, I'm gonna say it's moved to probably my number one state to move to. I would love to live in Maine. Just absolutely love it there. It's so nice. Portland, Maine's an awesome city. Bar Harbor is gorgeous. It's just really fucking cool. I love it up there, man.
Nice.
What about you?
I think for me, man, it's
Illinois.
Oh yeah, I'd go about 20 feet, and I'd go. You know what? This is far enough. I'm fine.
This is it. I've made it.
No. This is gonna sound a little bit like I'm just doing it for.
Oh, like you want to move to California?
No, God, no.
Yeah.
The other way. I'd go to Massachusetts. I'd hang out with Jiggy-san in Boston. Have a PAX near me all the time that I wouldn't have to fly to. I like when I visited Boston. I really like its mix of old and new. There is definitely a lot of historic architecture there, but it is also a modern city. I do like the Red Sox when I don't like the Cardinals, or when I'm not currently. I love the Cardinals. Let's get that.
So you're happy whenever the Red Sox beat the Cardinals?
I was, and I had a bunch of friends at my school who were very unhappy that I was happy. I'm like, I don't care who wins. I already won. Look at these. Like, it's my two teams. No, like, you're a traitor.
That's one of the reasons why I say Maine. So Sarah and I both love Boston, and Portland's a couple hours away from there. So Portland,
so you get all the goodness of Boston without having to be in Boston.
Yeah, you can go south to Boston, you can go north to Bar Harbor, you can go west towards Vermont. You can even like go up towards Nova Scotia. There's some really cool. This is very, very. If you're into that, like, New England lifestyle, it's great.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Like travel. Sarah, when I first met her, we would do the license plate game on road trips. Try and call out those. That was always fun. She does press pennies on top of the magnets when we travel. And then the other thing is that we do the national park cancellations where you get the stamps from all the locations to go to. And they've got that broken down off of like regions as well. So whenever we're planning a vacation, we're usually looking for areas that we can go and check out, some sort of like state park. And it's really fucking cool. I wish I would have done it more in my life growing up, because state parks are fucking rad, and I wish I would have had a fonder appreciation for them as a kid. But yeah, it's great.
Nice.
We got some video games to talk about tonight. This is, I say it every month, one of my favorite types of episodes we do. I absolutely love.
Yeah, I don't even know what this show is. Nobody's introduced us.
Yeah, what is this?
We're in different states, man. This is Casual Hour. We're a geographic podcast about video games. We talk about states, Cracker Barrel. We make fun videos on the internet. We're good. We're dear good friends who get together and watch soccer.
And some not so fun videos.
And some not so fun videos. We had a really great spread of food this past weekend where we broke bread, literally.
We did.
And hung out. It was a great time. But tonight's episode of the Casual Hour is going to be hosted by me, Bobby Pease. Joining me, the gamer on the go, Chase Kinnicky, and Johnny Amzich, the California Dreamer. And we're going to tell you all about those fun and maybe not so fun games coming out this month. We're also going to be breaking down the games that we picked from the prior month and tell you a little bit about what we've been up to before that. So we've got a lot of fun stuff to get through tonight. Make yourself cozy, pull up a chair, write in what states you've been to, and let's talk about that. Chase, you're always up first. What have you been up to, man? What have you been playing?
I finished Citizen Sleeper.
You did it.
Awesome.
Did.
And
how long did it take?
I knew I could. I just had to have a chunk of time, and
yeah. How long did it take?
I can't remember.
Okay.
I wish I could. Probably something like 7 hours total, 7, 8.
Okay.
I took I feel a little bad. I feel like I kind of took a cop-out early ending. I think there was more game that I could have. I know there is more game that I could have played.
Was that a deliberate choice?
It was. And part of it was the game itself. Yes, Bobby?
Did it have to do with a ship?
No.
Okay.
I am familiar with that ending, or that possible ending, but no. I mean, how much do we want to get into spoilers here?
I mean, we're going to eventually.
I'm not terribly far into it still, so
okay. Let's hold off on that then. I think I'm pretty close to it.
You probably are. I will say I got to a point where the two of the big things that were really leaning on me of like these are the reasons that you can't get comfortable in this area, I was able to overcome, and then the game kind of kept going, and I wondered what I was doing, and I felt like I was just kind of flailing around. And that's why when the game gave me an option of like, hey, do you want this ending? I'm not sure if that's the ending I would have picked if I knew what all the other endings were.
Yeah, I heard that it gives you a lot of warnings on you're gonna wrap this game up.
This one basically said like, you're gonna end the game. Like if you choose this. And I said, yeah, I guess. But the reason I said yes to that, even though I don't think it was the ending I really felt in my heart or was necessarily hoping for, is because I gotta say I got a little bit bored there at the end.
I got to be honest with you too. I'm glad you brought it up because I was waiting on you because I know that you really like this game, and I really like this game too.
And I still really like it, yeah.
But
as a whole,
I think like I put it down because other shit came out and I wanted to check it out, and I've had a really hard time picking it back up.
Yeah,
and there's a few there's been a few other games this year that like I just could not wait to get back into, and I was very much like going through it, and I can't say that without it sounding like I don't like that game, because I really think it's a really well done game and I'm having a great time with it, but I'm having a hard time getting back in to just cross the finish line.
So I feel like, at least for me, those are two different problems, because I was also feeling that separate from this other thing I just mentioned. I was feeling, hey, I had one really good session with Citizen Sleeper. I got maybe halfway through the game. I really like a lot of what it's doing.
Yeah.
And then stopped because I had to go to bed or whatever. And then yes, I had that same problem. Like, do I want to play Citizen Sleeper? I mean, kinda, but I'm not. I can put that off for another day, and then it would go off for another day and another day. But it was that thing of, I just felt like I needed like a day where nobody was gonna bother me. I wasn't gonna have to deal with anything. I could just sit down and play Citizen Sleeper, and having Memorial Day be that day for me really helped. And I said, okay, this is the day, getting back into Citizen Sleeper. And within 5 minutes of me turning the game back on, I was like, oh yeah, this game fucking rules. And I was just having a great time again. So it just completely clicked for me again. It did take some time for me to actually carve out the opportunity to play this. The problem I'm having is that there are a couple of things that there was pressure. That game gives you pressure in all sorts of different ways. There are two main pressure points of limiting the things that you can do, or like the big weights on you that feel like, I gotta find a way to get out from under these things. And then I did, and then there was more game left, and I kind of just didn't know why.
Johnny, if you want to mute this for a second, I'm going to ask a very, really deliberate question about what I think you're alluding to. Are you talking about...
If we have Johnny mute himself, are we ever going to let him come back on?
No.
You can talk about it. It's fine.
Are you alluding to being hunted?
Yes, in both instances.
Yeah.
The hunted of the company coming after you,
yeah,
and the hunted whenever you go into the digital stuff, and there's the hunter character that's coming after you. I was able to figure out ways of dealing with both of those things. I got through story threads, and it was like, okay, well, no one's hunting you anymore, and also you can do all the hacking you want because nobody's coming after you anymore on that.
Yep.
And I went, okay, well, those were kind of the driving forces of the game, and now that I've figured out what to do with those, and then there are other story threads that are coming, which I know would be, hey, if I took your story a little bit further, maybe you would have also solved this problem in a different way. So now people are like, well, what do you think about this when I give you these two options? Like, well, actually, I already solved the problem, so what you're offering doesn't really matter to me. I don't even know why I'm talking to you anymore.
Yep.
And that was just kind of a bummer, because I felt like I was just hanging out, and
it's like an unnecessary epilogue.
A little bit, but it hadn't given me an ending yet. It was still waiting for me to find an ending. And when I did find an ending, and it says, do you want to take this option? I'm like, yeah, because this last hour that I've just been, rolling dice, feeling good, always having as much stabilizer as I need, not feeling hunted, basically made friends with pretty much everybody. I'm like, okay, sure, I'll take an ending. I'm good to be done, and it was fine.
I didn't finish In Other Waters, but I think that what I appreciate about what they're doing there with that game is it's very linear and it's very focused. And I think that there's a lot of branching options, which I appreciate in Citizen Sleeper. And I think that it's one of those things where we can all have these very different outcomes, but I do feel that it could use maybe a little tightening up at times on how it's getting to those places, and it's not fair to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway, and we've done it on the show already. I wish I would have played this before Norco, personally speaking. And because I think that really fucked up my footing here, I think.
Well, I want to be, I feel like I've been pretty critical, but I do want to say I still incredibly enjoyed my time with Citizen Sleeper on the whole. From that early game is so good, and I love it, and it is putting pressure on you and making you make those decisions. That all felt great, and it was really just that ending where I just kind of want to be done because I don't have anything.
Yep.
I don't have anything pressing on me. I just kind of I did it. I did the things that I needed to do, and it just felt like this protracted epilogue as I was just searching for a way to say, I guess I'm done. So when it gave me an out, I took it.
Yeah, I think I'm probably going to do something similar. Like there was a point in time when I first started, I'm like, I'm going to try and min-max my way to like the best ending for this. And the game does a pretty good job of keeping you from save scumming. But I will say at this point, if I go back to it, knowing where I'm at in the game, I'm probably going to just start to, just to get it done and see. And I that sounds really critical.
I'm really interested to hear more about that game. I know that Austin Walker had a chat that's on YouTube that's like 45 minutes long with the main dev, and I'm looking forward to listening to that now that I have finished the game. And I don't necessarily want to play it again, but I do want to know what the other potential endings are, what the other options could be, because I'm not super satisfied with my ending, but I still had a great time when I think about it.
Cool, man. So Chase, you buttoned up Citizen Sleeper. You got that wrapped up. Anything else?
You want to hear about Iron Banner on Destiny 2, which you don't. You don't want to hear about it. They changed it. They changed it. Some people like it, some people don't. I'm kind of whatever about it, but we're not going to talk about that.
All right. Well, Chase, thank you for that update on Citizen Sleeper. I have a couple new things to talk about this week. It's been a weird week for me.
Yeah.
Very weird week. You all know that I like Ni no Kuni quite a bit. For not being an anime fanatic, this is probably the closest I've gotten to something that I would consider to be very much anime.
You played Persona 5, bro.
Well, that's true. You should absolutely just watch a Studio Ghibli movie. Like you basically have with Ni no Kuni.
I've even watched the Ni no Kuni movie on Netflix.
Oh, don't do that. That's not a very good movie.
I did. It's not good. But I watched all of it.
It's not very good at all.
Haven't you ever seen any Studio Ghibli movie?
Mm-mm.
Really?
Mm-mm. Yeah.
Wow, incredible.
We're all on HBO Max.
You might
Johnny,
not believe it.
What would be the one? What would be the one that you'd have Bobby watch? Not necessarily your favorite.
What's the one with the big? Is
My Friend Totoro.
Yeah, I feel like that'd probably be a good one to watch.
Howl's Moving Castle is really good. Christian Bale is the main character. Billy
Totoro's just a little slow and stale for me. It's very cute, but it's
so charming.
It is. I like Ponyo. I think Bob's
Ponyo. I've seen that. I haven't seen it.
Delivery Service is good.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
There are lots of good ones.
Yeah. Sorry.
So
you're getting off track.
You should watch it.
I saw like a couple months back. I was looking on the App Store on my phone. I'll do this from like time to time. Still, I'll go down and look for like upcoming games. I'm curious like what's being ported to mobile. If there's any Monument Valley 3s, shit like that. And I
take
saw
the man out of Apple. You can't take the Apple out of the man.
Yep.
But I saw an icon for Ni no Kuni. I'm like, oh, okay. Are they bringing this? They're porting Ni no Kuni over. That sounds cool. And I was like, Crossworlds, this isn't anything that I've seen of for this series. And I was like, whoa, this is something different. So you could basically preload it. And if you preloaded it, you got like some free in-game shit. I'm like, all right, I'll do that. And it was free, of course. But then the game unlocked and I went to check it out. And I was originally pretty excited because I thought they were doing some interesting stuff with this. It is a gotcha game. It is definitely more akin to like, I would say, oh my god, Genshin Impact, and
so you were telling us that over text, but it also doesn't sound like a gacha game because you're not just rolling a bunch of characters like all these gacha games.
No,
right?
you are.
Oh, you are?
So
for the familiars?
For the familiars.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
And so that aspect of it, I could get behind that, like, hey, because that's not too dissimilar in the game. Like, there's going to be different abilities that you can get with some of the familiars, especially in the first one. And this is going to do the same thing. They're going to be on a star system. And so you can have up to 3 familiars equipped, and you unlock that as you progress your character. They all have unique abilities, but the combat itself is laid out very similar to what Genshin is. You've got your attack button, and then you've got 3 abilities for your class. And there's 5 different classes in the game that you register to your username. So when you log into the game, you're picking which character you want to load into the game. So if you wanted to play it as the swordsman or the enforcer, you could do that, but you have to level everybody up independently. There is some stash stuff that carries over. It's just a very overwhelming experience for me because there's so many fucking currencies and coins and login bonuses and battle passes for battle passes that, like, the other thing that's really fucking weird about this one, by default, combat and questing and traversing is all automatic. So
it's almost like a clicker.
The game is designed in a way, so like in the upper right hand corner, you've got all the shit, your inbox, your daily stuff, like all that lives there. And so what they're doing is you tap, like on the left hand side of the screen is your quest. You just tap on the quest and your character starts running towards the quest. And if there's any encounters along the way, by default, it's going to start to fight them automatically. And the reason being is like when this first happened, like when they're tutorializing you, they have you do that shit and you tap on a button in the upper right hand corner because it's like, hey, press up here to see what's going on. And all they're doing, they want you in those systems. So as your character's just running around the world doing shit, fighting, going to the next quest, you're just going through that and collecting your shit each day and like going through your systems. So then when you stop doing that, you'll just be waiting in front of your quest. And once you're out of a menu, then that person will start talking to you and tell you about the quest, tell you what you're going to get. You hit go, and then you can go back into like what they're doing. You could play it. I think you can turn that stuff off. It's weird though. It's just, I don't think it feels as earnest as like, and Genshin's got a lot of bad systems in it. Don't get me wrong. The other thing that like I have not encountered, but I was reading about, apparently this thing is just riddled with fucking crypto garbage.
Oh no. No, Bobby.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
So
get out of there. Run away.
Here's the bummer. It's got incredible art. Ghibli's back on board. Is it Ghibli or Ghibli?
It's either one. We're fine.
Okay.
We're Americans. We can say
It's got really great voice performances. I like that, like when you pick one of the classes, they've got some predetermined like different outfits. That's the other thing too. Like you're getting gear and a lot of loot. It doesn't change your appearances. They have like customization that you can unlock. And you're going to be able to pay for like currency to get those things. So if you want your character to look like a prim and proper person or like a barbarian, you can do those things. I know that Genshin it had a little bit of a weird start. It was pretty polished, but they added some more quality of life stuff to it. It became a bit more streamlined. I wonder if that's going to happen. I don't know at this point in time. Like Ni no Kuni's a pretty popular name and franchise, so maybe that'll peel some people away from Genshin, but it's not like Genshin's had less people interested in it. It stayed pretty strong, if not gotten more popular.
That game makes so much money.
And they have a PC version of this game. It's currently on Android and iOS only. There's a PC version that's pretty fucking rough right now. No controller support at this time for any of it across the board. So like Genshin, you can play on PlayStation. You can play that with a controller. Your character progression does sync over, but it's a free-to-play game. I would say check it out. There is some of that charms there that if you like Ni no Kuni, I'm sure you can find something to gravitate towards. But this one's not doing it for me.
So you are recommending people check it out?
I think it's a free game that you can make an assumption on. Like there's no skin in the game for you.
It just, I don't know. Maybe I was misreading.
I started
your
off
tone
really
or whatever,
high on it. I thought it was
did not
pretty
come
cool.
off as an endorsement.
No, I don't. I am probably not going to stick with it in its current iteration. It's just not something that like I don't want to have to figure out how to navigate all these systems. Like there's too many currencies. Like I log in, I get this stuff, and the game doesn't even tell you what you're going to use it for. You're getting shit for a future state that like you don't even understand.
Yeah.
And so I can see how people would like this game is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's definitely some likable things to it if you're into that shit.
I mean, it sounds like one of those.
It is one of those.
Yeah.
Bobby, let me ask you. So you're saying, is this based more on Ni no Kuni 1, Ni no Kuni 2, or completely separate?
It's separate. What was the thing in Assassin's Creed that you like? Is it the Animus or?
Mm-hmm.
So they're kind of doing one of those things here. So in Ni no Kuni, there had been like, you know, the Ni no Kuni 2, the president gets pulled into the world, right? And he has the gun and it looks really weird. This is like there's a corporation and the game starts when you enter the world, you're in what looks like an animus, like in a coma. And you go to do this thing and like you go
so strange.
Okay.
Yeah,
and so unnecessary.
And it opens up and you fall into the world out of that machine. Like that's how they do it. And it's funny because
that's so weird.
Yeah, like you get to see what your character looks like IRL, and then you get to see how they morph when they come into this world.
Interesting. But they are the thing you're gotchaing. Those are the familiars from the first game. Because the second game they didn't have familiars; they had Higgledies.
Yeah, it's so there are. I did see some Higgledies as well.
Okay.
But not that you had. But this is familiars from the first one. Like there's absolutely the
like
ones.
Little orange dude with the sword.
Yep. Yep. He's. I think he's there for sure. The snake that eats its tail. That rolls. That one's there.
All the hits.
All the hits are there. So.
All right. Well, so you're saying a disappointing mobile release from a long running beloved franchise. Well, you know that doesn't happen every day, so I'm sure we probably won't run into another one of those for a while. Anyway, Bob, what's the next game you've been playing?
You're right. We won't because Diablo Immortal fucking rules, Chase. And you got to eat your shit because that game.
Whoa! I'm not going to do that.
Diablo Immortal is fucking cool. It is really, really cool.
What? This is not seriously.
Diablo.
Tell me more.
So I'm already a level 25 barbarian.
Well, are we still talking about Diablo?
Yeah.
Yes. So Diablo Immortal comes out on June 2nd. We're going to talk about it here in a little bit. It released a day early on iOS. And this is a free-to-play version of Diablo. You may have heard about people being pretty upset about this game when folks were wanting Diablo 4. Diablo or Blizzard and all of them came out and said, hey, you have a mobile phone, right? You're going to like this. The game is available on PC as well. I have it downloaded there. It's just not unlocked yet. But the reasoning behind that is with emulation and with Windows running mobile games, they knew people would do it. They decided to make it an actual proper version of the game that way. So let's talk a little bit about this game takes place, I believe it's supposed to take place 5 years after Diablo 2.
Yeah, it's between 2 and 3.
It's between 2 and 3. I have not had a ton of, I don't have a rich history with Diablo. I played a good portion of 3. I watched my roommate growing up play 2. I almost bought that remake of 2 to get through it, but there's a bunch of other shit was coming out. So I'm not the person that can talk to you a lot about the lore and the history of the series, but what I have seen, the writing's pretty good and the story beats are pretty good on it. I think they've done a good job of how they've introduced that. There are 6 classes that you can choose from in this game, and they are the classic classes you would expect from a Diablo franchise. But this is, again, a mobile-first game. Well, I shouldn't say it's mobile first. Like the PC version is there, but they've designed this in a way to be a great mobile experience, and the controls work really well for touchscreen. You don't have to be too precise with what you're doing. So you've got a virtual thumbstick on the left-hand side of the screen that wherever you're touching the screen, the thumbstick moves to, and then off to the right, There's a large button that is your primary attack, and there are 4 smaller buttons that kind of bend around it. So you don't have to be super precise on it. And I think it feels really good on how you would be doing that. Those 4 moves work on a cooldown, just like Diablo games in the past have. The moving your character through the world feels great. You can set it to 60 frames per second on your phone if it's capable, and that looks really good.
It also has an auto run mode, apparently.
Yep. So you can get that going on it. The questing feels a lot like it did in 3 from what I remember playing on that game. You'll be running out, doing shit, taking the portal at the end and coming back to it. You're picking up quite a bit of gear like you'd expect from Diablo, and the way that they've broken this one down, so when you slot like a helmet on, for example, it's not going to change the overall appearance. Kind of like what I mentioned with Ni no Kuni. There's a whole customization screen that you'll go into, and that's where you can spend some actual money if you want to. They do give you you'll progress into different armor in the game, but if you want like the different pieces, that's all there. I'll pause really quick and I'll say this is a free-to-play game. The mechanics that I've encountered so far around spending money remind me a lot of Destiny's Eververse. It's more of that than it is some of this other shit. Now, there is absolutely an ability that you could be forking money into this thing and leveling up your character and just being very powerful. Where Destiny,
so you can purchase progress.
Well, so there's
I haven't seen any of that stuff yet.
Yeah, all that really opens up at level 10. That's when you can get the battle pass going on it, and they've got 2 versions of the battle pass, much like some of the other games out there do, where you can have more of a premium battle pass or just a standard one that you'll be earning shit through if you want to do that. The game uses these dungeons that will drop runes that you can slot into your gear. So a lot of the gear is going to have for where I'm at, 1 to 3 spots to put runes into, and those are going to be all the way up from like just common to legendary rune. And like one of those would be, so like for my class, I've got one right now. Anytime I hit an enemy, it'll chain lightning, which is pretty cool. And every one of these abilities you can slot in up to a legendary. So you could have like 5 legendary runes equipped and completely just roll your character that way. That's where you're going to have to spend some money probably, because you're going to get runes and shit that you can put into it that's going to level up your character or your abilities. But as you're playing the game, they're kind of like a public event. These dungeons will show up, and then you have a set amount of time when you're out in the open to find them. And when you complete the dungeon, you're going to get those standard runes, and you can complete 6 dungeons a day and then net all that shit from it. But then if you wanted to, you can start to pay money to get these legendary runes, and they give you 1 of those a day. And so when you go to do these rift events, that's what you can do with friends or by yourself, and you're kind of bidding on what you think. So if I put a crest on it, like one of these crests that I'll just get through doing a dungeon, it's going to give me a probability of higher gear at the outcome of it. So I think Destiny has some stuff like that. I'm not quite sure, but at the end of this, if you put one of the legendary ones on there, this skyrockets your probability for getting like a certain role or one of these items. And so like that's where you can start to put the money into, or you can just buy the gear, the armor, all that shit that you would buy, like similar to what Destiny is. But so far, it's not been very invasive at all with that. Again, I'm up to level 25. It's definitely there.
Do you feel you could play through the whole game in like a satisfactory way and not spend any money at all?
Yeah, I hadn't read. I read. So I think it was either Engadget or PC Magazine. I was reading some reviews as I was trying to understand like where's the shit, right? Because I know that it's one of these games like where are they going to start to smear the shit and like make you spend a lot of money? And they said that they had.
Very much got shit on the brain tonight.
I do. I got a lot of shit.
Eating shit, smearing shit,
smelling shit, dealing with shit. They said that they put like 12 hours in during their review period, and they hadn't dumped any money into it, and that they were having a fantastic time with it. The combat feels great. Like all that stuff is wonderful with it. If you really wanted to start to do some crazy builds, and I don't know what the end game is going to look like. Maybe this goes off the rails for the end game, but right now there's a new Diablo game that I can play on the go that feels pretty good for being touchscreen. I've played it on my iPad with the 8BitDo controller, and I'm gonna check it out on my PC later on. So I've got like 3 ways to play this game that all feel really good, and I'm having a blast with it. I think it's really well done, and it's getting really good reviews as well. Like I've seen a lot of 4 out of 5s for it. I think if you are somebody who struggles with spending money on these types of games, like buyer beware. But I think that if you are somebody who's looking for a cool Diablo experience, like this is a pretty good one. And I think it would be neat to play with some friends. Oh, I did do 2 dungeons that require matchmaking. I wanted to test that out and see how that was. And it was great.
Okay.
Like I loaded up with 3 other people. You can, they've got
Blizzard of all people should be good at that sort of thing.
You would think.
Yeah, they do have they've got in-game chat that you can use, and they've got their own in-game voice, but all that's like you can see the chat stuff happening and you can minimize that. But if you wanted to, which I think is pretty clever, especially for mobile, if you're matchmaking and doing a dungeon, like you can turn voice chat on and just talking to your phone while you're playing, and it's already there, so that works out really well. So that was pretty cool. And if you are just like, I didn't talk to anybody, I wanted to get through this and get some gear, I did 2 dungeons tonight, and it worked out great. So I've been playing it primarily solo, except for those things, and level 25 barbarian. Gonna check out on PC tomorrow, see how that's going. But I'm very surprised. I'm very surprised by how good it is.
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, all we heard was
people were upset.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Nobody wanted this.
But yeah, I had
expectations.
I haven't put nearly as much time into it as Bobby has, obviously. But like I was taken aback because I was very skeptical of this. I've only ever played Diablo 3 on the Switch like Bobby. So I had no deep reverence for it. I was just like, a mobile Diablo game. I don't know. That seems rife with issues, probably.
For sure.
But so far, I've been pleasantly surprised by the experience. So we'll see what happens as I go on. If it becomes too, because I have like very low threshold for that sort of stuff. Before it kind of drives me away. So we'll see how far I make it.
Yeah. I would say, Chase, check it out.
Yeah, I mean, the thing, I have a very similar Diablo history to you, Bobby, from what you're saying. Played a little bit of 3 on Switch, watched other people play 2 a decent amount. But I didn't get that far in like the most Diablo I've played is the original Torchlight, which I loved. But sure. If I want to play a Diablo game, I still could just go back to Diablo 3, and that's probably what I would do beforehand. And or even go back to the Diablo 2 remaster, because that is, I want to I want to see what the good one is.
Yeah, totally.
What people are talking about. Other than this one being brand spanking new, I guess I'm not seeing why, as a person who doesn't know anything about Diablo, why I'd want to play this. I get how somebody like a friend of the show, Pierce Corshane, who has played the shit out of Diablo 3, and I'm pretty sure he played a lot of Diablo 2 and probably 1 back in the day. I see like, oh yeah, hey, it's a new Diablo, and this I've wrung everything else dry. So yeah, go for it. But for me, I'd probably get those other 2 first. Cool to hear that it's good though.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
I'm very surprised.
And it's probably a win that Blizzard desperately needs. Maybe not necessarily deserves, but definitely needs.
I mean, the people who make the games, the ones who dreamt of working at Blizzard someday.
Sure, not everybody at Blizzard is a monster. Piece of shit. Yeah, absolutely. And for those people who aren't, good on you that you've put out something that people seem to be liking so far.
This is me passing the torch to Johnny, because there's a game that we've both been playing that I'm going to let him carry the lion's share of tonight. But speaking of surprises that are good. Sniper Elite 5, baby.
Yeah, man.
I'm not surprised in the least that game pulls.
Okay, I had very little experience with this franchise.
This
I played
my first time.
a tiny bit of 3. I own that game on Steam for some reason. I think it came in a Humble Bundle or something, which is like how a big chunk of my library that I have never touched is from.
Yeah.
And I put like 30, 45 minutes into it. I was like, okay, this seems pretty cool. And 5 was announced, and I was like, okay, I'm all in on this one. And then it came out.
Does anybody even remember 4 coming out? I do not even remember hearing about Sniper Elite 4. No. For all I know, they didn't even make a 4th, and they just skipped right to 5.
Like I was like, okay, I guess 4 happened. I don't remember that. And it's like Hitman and like a little bit of not the gameplay in Wolfenstein, but like the attitude towards the Nazis. Sure. You know, like very.
It feels a lot more like Steve McQueen than Quentin Tarantino.
Mm-hmm.
It's a. I didn't want to say it's a playful take on World War II because still World War II.
No, but it's like a hard boiled Pulp Fiction-y type of thing.
Yeah, it's more of an action movie kind of thing where it's not. Yeah, it's not Schindler's List. You're not there to learn. You're there to have a good time. And
it's a 10-cent paperback that you read about. The American sniper sneaking into
the shadow,
German occupied France.
Yeah, here you go.
And
I love the idea that Bobby's got this narrative in his head that he's just playing, and every time he gets a headshot, he's like, the shadow, and then he just disappears.
Shadow strikes again.
The shadow until shit pops off.
I think what kind of blows me away about this, because like speaking of my headcanon, I had made up this like this was gonna be like some like very like hard as nails simulator, like that you had to really like measure things out.
The name it's kind of implied, and if you don't know anything about the actual game, then
it's also very easy to get it confused with some of the other sniper games that are out there that have very similar names because they all just have sniper in the name, of course.
Yeah.
And some of those are very hardcore where you're having to think about bullet drop and wind conditions and that kind of stuff. Whereas Sniper Elite, it has some of that in there, but it still feels relatively arcadey compared to these extremely hardcore sniper kinds of games.
Yeah, and I don't know. I love the idle dialogue. I don't even know the guy's name. The sniper's name.
Shadow, obviously.
The Shadow.
The idle dialogue he has with himself while you're walking is like, this grass would be perfect for hiding from Nazis in, and shit like that. Like just at the start of one episode, he's like, let's go see what these Nazi bastards are up to. Dude, it's just it's
one thing I want to call out is the sandbox that they give you to play in is just remarkable on this.
The level design is very, very good.
I know you made a comment. I'll just tee you up here. Sure. The third mission, because there's 9 missions in the campaign. There's a horde mode, there's a PvP mode, and then you can play the entire co-op or the entire campaign co-op. Mission 3, from a world design, you come around this bend. You start and you're walking down this path, and you come around it, and there's just the fucking ocean and a giant, fucking massive Nazi fortress. And you're seeing like these little glimmers of light, and you realize, oh shit, there's like 8 snipers on this building. And you're about 500 yards out from it, and you
pull your binoculars out, you tag each of them.
God, then
you take your rifle out, you scope them in, and then it shows it in slow motion traveling and blowing his nuts off.
Johnny, you made the comment that it felt like a Hitman level, and you said that was like one of the best compliments you had in the game.
It had like Sapienza energy, like European town, old buildings, and then
so when you say that, it is more of the aesthetics, and because it doesn't have like a bunch of scripted things that you're messing around with. You're not going to smash anybody in a great press or anything.
Oh, you can do chandelier drops and stuff.
Yeah, or there are vehicles that are on routes throughout the level.
Yep.
You can cause mayhem with those. You have grenades. You have a decoy, like in Metal Gear Solid, that is just a helmet on a broom.
Good. Very good.
It's so good. You can booby trap bodies as well.
So yeah, if you kill a Nazi, you put a grenade on his body, and when his buddy comes to check on him, he goes boom.
I know that we talk about those kill cams a lot. I got 5 guys with 1 grenade. And you want to talk about one of the most chaotic fucking kill cams. Because I threw the grenade and I didn't think it did it on those. I'm like, okay, I can get rid of these guys really quick. I throw it, and all of a sudden the camera's just over the grenade. And the grenade goes boom, and then it stops right there. And then you just see limbs and like bodies like in the air, like dangling. And I was just cackling because it's just the slowest fucking. It's
you can adjust the speed.
Oh, I know. Oh yeah, yeah, I know.
And you can move the camera.
Oh, I know.
It's so good.
It's so good.
I can't believe how much fun I'm having while I'm playing a game called Sniper Elite 5. And it's really, really good. It has pulled me away from my 20-hour playthrough of Elden Ring on the PS5 that I started.
Oh, thank goodness!
When I was
doing
sick.
the Lord's work.
Yeah, man. Chase, this is one that like I would say maybe pick it up.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of have the similar problem. I have Sniper Elite 3. I enjoyed the small amount of time I put into Sniper Elite 3. You guys talking about Sniper Elite 5 is just making me go, well, I need to just slot Sniper Elite 3 back into my PS5 and start playing it. Because I'm not hearing anything different from what 3 does, other than I think the being able to do the whole thing co-op, I think that's new. I don't remember a horde mode in 3, so it sounds like maybe some of this stuff around the periphery. But when it comes to and I don't remember being able to conceal grenades on bodies. That is pretty good. But 3 is also just a really fucking good game. And I imagine there's a 4th one somewhere. And I have to imagine that one's probably also pretty damn good.
Here's the other thing, Chase. If you pick it up on PlayStation, it does have crossplay.
Okay, now we're talking. If we can do some co-op crossplay, that's a pretty compelling reason.
And the other part, so the campaign is only 2 players. But this Horde wave-based mode, you can have up to 4. And then if you're doing just straight PvP, that's obviously multiple people as well. But you can play this cross-play co-op or these other modes as well.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty exciting. All right, I'll put it down on a list. And we'll see.
I don't know if you could do it in the past, but like Johnny was like, I don't remember what the guy's name is. After you beat the game, you can play as like 9 different characters. And then you also unlock the ability to put hats on the main character. The one other thing that they do, so there's 9 missions. On each mission, there's going to be a VIP target for you to take out. And they have specific ways that you do that. And if you meet those requirements, that's how you will unlock further weapons in the game. So like I know this is in the other ones, but you have workbenches and then there's customization you can do for each gun, and you're going to unlock that by doing certain things.
It's pretty granular.
Yep. It's very good. It's very, very good. Definitely check it out.
Yep.
Anything else, Johnny?
Yeah. I finished 2 games since the last time I was on the podcast.
What the hell?
That doesn't sound like Johnny.
I finished Norco.
Hell yeah.
And LeBlanc is best new character.
Yep.
And that's all I have to say about that. And that game
that's something I should be getting into sooner rather than later. Okay.
Yes, you need to finish
I'm gonna do my kit work, Johnny.
God damn it.
Now that Citizen Sleeper's done,
really Chase, you need to finish it. I really, really love that game. It has some of the most excellent writing in a game that I've played in a very long time, and it's such memorable characters.
Yep.
Monkey, LeBlanc,
Monkey's really good.
It's
millions.
Oh, goddamn. It's great. Chasing you to finish it.
Okay.
And I also finished Horizon Forbidden West.
Hell yeah.
Which I ran into a conundrum with that game because I was absent for a long time. I played a whole bunch of it before Elden Ring came out, like 20 plus hours. And then I played like 120 hours of Elden Ring. And then I tried playing Horizon right after that, and it just didn't work for me. So I took another extended break. But within the last 2-3 weeks, I was like, I need to sit down and finish this thing. I want to see how the story ends. And I'm just going to push through it. And that's kind of what I did. I did have a few side quests that I wanted to wrap up that were more like loyalty missions from Mass Effect 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I helped Katalo, I helped Vo,
Mm-hmm.
and anytime I could help one of my buddies back at base, I helped them out. I did all those quests that I think were available before I just kind of pushed through to get to the story. And I kept hitting a wall with the combat. I was having a real hard time getting back into the groove of it, and I kept dying again and again and again.
Yeah,
and then
good, man.
I finally went to the arena, and that was even more difficult. I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm turning it down to story mode because I want the armor that you get for finishing all the arena quests. So I did that, and then I just left it on for the rest of the game.
There you go.
And I finished it, and that story goes in some really strange places. And I'm interested to see how they tie it all together. I think overall, from a world design, from a traversal, from a combat, like all the technical pieces of it are a lot better than the first game, but the first game has the better story, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's fair, for sure.
And I'm not saying it's bad, it's just was less enjoyable than unraveling the mystery of the first game.
Yeah, there's something that's kind of propelled you there, for sure. I'm surprised that you haven't. I don't see it on the list here, so I'm just going to call it out. I'm surprised that you haven't checked out that demo for Mario Strikers yet, knowing how much you were excited about that game.
It's not. So it's right now. It's just a tutorial. That's all they have. So the actual like game doesn't unlock until Friday or Saturday. Mm-hmm.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So I played a tiny bit of that just so I could get a feel for the controls, and based off that tiny little bit that I played, because it wasn't even playing against other players or even like CPUs. It was just Mario running around in the field. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And
cool.
I'm really looking forward to the full release, which is in 9 days, I think.
We'll see. We don't know yet until
we
get to
why don't we find out?
Sure.
Right. Let's do it.
All right. Well, before we get into this month's new games, we always have to talk about how we did last month. So let's see about that. We all had Citizen Sleeper on our lists. And, I think so far, despite what I said at the beginning of this podcast, we're all relatively happy with Citizen Sleeper.
Yeah.
So good on us there. We also all had Trek to Yomi. How are y'all feeling about that decision?
I didn't play it because Bobby said it was bad.
I watched Bobby play that quick look, and I went, "Nah, I'm good."
It's not very good.
Yeah, that made me sad because I was like, this game looks like it's gonna be awesome, and then
Talk about a bait and switch.
But we all had a different third game on our lists. I had Iron and Chronicle Rising, which I hear is okay. It is kind of what you did play it?
A little bit of it, yeah. It's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, it seems fine. It seems like something I probably will end up picking up at some point. But it does seem like you're kind of just continuing to go down the same dungeon, and it is pretty repetitive, but repetitive in maybe a decently interesting way. So I'm not bad. Yeah. Bobby, you had Heart Space Shipbreaker, a game that we've done a quick look on, that we've shown on different episodes of the show. We showed it off this last Monday, and that game's still really good. And now that it's in 1.0, it's maybe even better, right?
I love that game so much. God, it's good.
Quite good.
Yeah, pretty solid. And then, Johnny, you had Sniper Elite 5, which we just talked about here, and still pretty fucking cool.
Yeah,
man.
Check that out. All right, let's talk about some free stuff. Let's start with PlayStation Plus here. I think I've got this relatively right. We have God of War, the PS4
Didn't they already give that game away with the PS Plus collection?
So if you are a PS5 owner, yeah, you already have this game for free. But not everybody's got PS5s these days.
Now they can't say that they didn't give you God of War this year.
There you go.
That's right.
You got it.
This is Corey Balrog's plan the whole time.
Yep.
So it is the PS4 and PS5 versions of it.
Okay.
So you can go out and grab
that.
There's also Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, both the PS4 and PS5 versions.
I have come so close to buying this game several times, and now I don't have to.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, it's a Smash Brothers, right? It's just another platform fighter thing.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Striker. This is like a 4v4 kind of capture the flag style game where you can customize your ninja. I generally like Naruto, and I had no interest in playing this, but free. It's free now. There you go. Moving on to Xbox, Games with Gold. On Xbox Series consoles, we got Avon Colony.
What is that?
That's a great question.
It's a city builder. It's got a cool look to it. It's like a SimCity city builder.
Yeah. That's available June 1st to June 30th.
Okay. So wait.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Chase. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. It says build a new world and a life for humanity. It's your job to develop Avon Colony on the strange new world of Avon Prime. The rest of that. We also have Project High Rise Architects Edition, which is available from June 16th to July 15th. Project High Rise, you are an architect, and the big metropolis is ready for your vision. Develop gleaming, majestic skyscrapers that will be the talk of the town.
It's just it's two of the same kind of game.
Well, I think
this one looks
is
like a Tiny Towers kind of game.
Yeah, one is more just like you do one building.
Two games with buildings.
You put Project High Rise inside Avon Colony, and then you got
there you go.
And then you got something going on. So those are your two Xbox Series games. For your Xbox 360, you got Super Meat Boy. Maybe you've heard of it. That's available from June 1st to June 15th. That game's pretty good.
Yeah,
that game's pretty good.
Yeah.
And also Rascals, RASKULLS. And what is Rascals? Get ready for a Rascals Mega Quest spanning 3 chapters and over 60 levels. Build your block-breaking wands to get through every level as fast as you can. Collect your boosties. Okay, never mind. They said boosties, so I think I'm done. Yeah, and that's available June 16th to June 30th. Bobby, you got some Game Pass games to talk to us about?
I do. You're going to be getting For Honor, the Marching Fire Edition. You're going to be getting the Ninja Gaiden Master Collection. You're going to be getting Assassin's Creed Origins. I will denote that one really quick, that there is an update coming for that game for the newer console. So if you have one of the series consoles, this is going to have a 60 FPS mode that they're putting out the same day that it hits Game Pass. No 4K resolution yet. They're saying that that's coming, but it will play at a higher frame rate now. And then Corvus, maybe you've heard of it.
Yeah.
No, Chorus, which is a game that I rather like, is going to be hitting that all platforms on that service.
We have a quick look at that, right?
We do, yeah. Quick look at that for sure. Disc Room, which I don't know what Disc Room is. That's going to be dropping as well. Space
Is that
Lines.
the one that's like? Is that the one that's like Windjammers?
Yeah, it's like a frisbee situation. No, wait.
No. This is the one that's top down. It's kind of like Smash TV.
Okay.
Yeah.
Space Lines from the Far Out. I don't know what that is either. Nope. That's going to be hitting it. Shadowrun Trilogy, and then Escape Academy will all be coming out. I will also put out there that there's been a lot of folks saying with the Microsoft and Bethesda showcase happening this month, that there's high probability for more additions to be added this month to Game Pass as well. But these are the ones that they have out there right now to make room.
And that also applies to the schedule in general. Like this is, we're not getting an E3, but we are getting a Summer Games Fest. We are getting, this is the time to do video game announcements. So I imagine there will be plenty of other things that stealth drop and might be relatively exciting that we're just not going to cover tonight.
A few things that have to leave to make room for this other stuff: Darkest Dungeon, Dungeons and Dragons, Dark Alliance, Greedfall, Limbo, and Worms Rumble are all leaving Game Pass in the month of June.
All right, and with that, let us move on to the games that are coming out this June. Already out right now on June 1st here is Silt. Coming to PC, Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. This is the one that's kind of, it's a little bit limbo. It's a little bit.
I played the demo for this.
Do what?
I played the demo for this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You like it?
It's cool. It's like what they're showing on the trailer here. The mind control stuff is really neat because it's almost like those are all your abilities in the game. It's taking over these other creatures, which is cool.
Right. That part kind of reminds me a little bit of the Swapper.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever played that, I think that's an interesting idea, but it definitely has that black and white look that reminds you of Limbo, but it's water diving stuff that's kind of like Abzu. It seems kind of cool. I wouldn't mind checking that one out
for sure.
Card Shark is coming out on June 2nd to PC and Switch. We have a quick look of the Steam Next Fest version of that game, and there is a demo that's out right now if you just want to grab the demo and take a look at it. But Bobby, you played this, so why don't you tell us a little bit more about Card Shark?
Yeah, this one is a little bit more complicated than I thought originally it was going to be. So you are learning a lot of button presses and mechanics that you're using to swindle people as a card shark. There's going to be some sleight of hand tricks you learn from magicians that you incorporate into how you deal cards out. It's set in France. I can't remember the year, around the French Revolution, I think, but it's definitely got a unique style to it. I go back and forth. Like, part of me really wants to get this game and dive in and have a good time with it. The other part of me is just like, I don't know how much I like the initial mechanics. It was a little bit different than I thought it would be.
Yeah, I remember when we did that quick look, there was some struggle with the controls, and some of that stuff didn't seem as clear as we thought.
I had a rough time with it. I wonder if I went back to the demo, if that would do it. But I think, I think it's got a lot of style to it for sure. I don't know if that's all it has at this point.
Yeah. Also on the 2nd, you've already been playing it, but Diablo Immortal. So it's already out for iOS and Android, and then tomorrow is when it comes out to PC. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yep. So it'll hit PC. I didn't mention this earlier, but let me just call this out really quick. If you started this game on your phone and you want to play it on other devices or platforms, you need to make sure that you are on the same server that you set your character up on, because they do not allow transfers. Okay. So whenever you want to play with people, you just want to make sure you're on the same server, or your character will be lost on the other server that you have. Just a heads up on that.
Good information. Also on the 2nd, Soldiers, Soldiers, is coming to PC, Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X. It's another one of those very pretty 2D pixel action platformy kind of games.
I really like how this looks.
I'm playing the demo right now.
Okay, and so far, what do you think?
It handles as good as it looks. It's got a very snappy, responsive rate to it. I think that it does some really cool shit. I've only played as the one soldier class in it. There's a few different ones, but it's more Metroidvania than, so I don't know how much you'll like it, Chase.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really cool. It's really well done. It's got a good look to it.
Switching? You said you only played as one of the classes. Do you have to pick the class and that's what you're stuck with, or do you switch classes at any point?
I don't know if you have the ability to switch in the game, but like when you first started up, it's basically like, hey, pick your class, and there was only one to grab in the demo. But I think there's some pretty significant upgrades that you can do. I do think I'm going to pick it up. I've had a pretty good time with the demo so far, and I want to check it out on my Steam Deck. I think that'd be a fun place to play this, and have it more handheld. I don't know if it's coming to Switch. I can't remember if you have that listed here or not.
Yep.
I think that'd be a pretty good home for it for folks.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll keep an eye on that one. Bobby, I don't know if you got the video for this one. I added it kind of late, but Behind the Frame.
Yep, I got it here.
Which is a game that game came out last August on PC, but is now coming to Switch and PS4. I remember us talking about this one. I don't know if it was a Steam Next Fest or it was maybe it was a Nintendo Indie World or something. But this is that puzzle game that takes place with like a really nice, pretty hand painted looking game that is about hand painting things.
If I can make a recommendation to you, I haven't done it yet myself, but I've gotten really close to playing this game because I just love how it looks and I like what they're going for. It's like $4 on iOS, and I think this would be a perfect iPad game.
Okay.
Because of how you're navigating through it, like even the painting aspects, the tapping, like I think that this is probably like that's the place to play it. I think
that sounds fair for a game like this. That is the way I'm seeing this being played in the trailer here. I can see that probably working better on iPad than fumbling with a controller. Yep. On the 8th, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2: The Sith Lords is coming to Nintendo Switch, and I'm pretty happy. I'm a happy camper on that one.
Do you think that they'll remake this eventually?
No, I don't. I don't think that at all. I love this game. It is my favorite Star Wars game of all time. I like it a lot more than the first one, but that is a minority opinion, and that's why I don't think it'll ever get a remake itself. But I'm honestly shocked that this one is even coming to Switch. But let me tell you a little bit about the history of this one. KOTOR 2 pretty famously rushed by Obsidian, and they just kind of left unfinished. The final area is just a very abrupt end that kind of wraps things up in a not so satisfying way. Fans actually did release a mod on PC that restored some content that I guess took some stuff from interviews, maybe found some stuff in the code and built it out and tried to finish it. I've never played that mod. I don't know what that entails. I can't imagine I can't imagine there's any voice acting in it. Obviously, fans wouldn't have been able to contact voice actors to get more voice in there. So I don't know exactly what they pulled together to make that. But as I watched this trailer, it mentions that it's going to have a DLC coming soon. So not when this game comes out on the 8th, but it will have they're calling it the restored content DLC.
Is that
and
that
they haven't
stuff?
They haven't exactly said what it is yet, but I think they have worked with, or this studio that is working on this has worked with those modders in the past and have found a way to make at least some of that restored content from the mod official. So I imagine that it's probably that stuff. Anyway, I don't know what that is exactly, so I'm looking forward to seeing what that is finally and getting a hopefully more satisfying ending than the first time I played that game had. But we'll see. Again, they haven't said exactly when that DLC is coming out, and I don't see a reason for me to play that game again until that DLC is out. But if you haven't played Knights of the Republic 2, I really, really love it. There's also a bundle of KOTOR 1 and KOTOR 2 on the Switch at the very least. But I'm sure that is probably available other places as well. And also these games are almost always incredibly cheap on PC. The last time I picked them both up, I think they were $2 each. so you can find them very cheaply. Getting the Switch version will not be $2, but I want to play that game on a Switch, so I'll probably do that.
Yeah, I just checked to see if it's compatible on the Steam Deck, and it is. It doesn't say it is right now, but it does load up just fine.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. That seems like a decent way to play it as well. On the 9th, Tour de France 22.
Yeah, game of the year.
PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X.
Who is this for?
I don't know who this is for. I don't.
Not to say
I don't
that
even know how this plays.
People who enjoy cycling don't play video games, but this seems incredibly niche. Like more niche than the cricket games that they make.
I want to know what the mechanics are like on this. Are you constantly having to press a button?
Have you played?
You alternate the left and right
Death
trigger.
Stranding?
Yeah. I mean, that's fair, but I still feel like that's a different.
Are you saying this is a Strand game?
Yes.
Ooh, okay. Tour de Strand. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about this one. I feel like if you're a sports game fan, wouldn't you just go to like something with an engine in it? Why wouldn't you just play a Forza?
Yeah, like a motocross or
something? I don't know. Anyway, it's there. I'm kind of interested to see what it's about. There's also, I didn't put it in our list here, but there's also I think it's called like Cycling Manager, and it's a manager game that is about cyclists, and that seems even more niche. I don't know what these people doing. Anyway, let's move on to June 10th, and that gets us Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, the Hinokami Chronicles. And this is coming out for Nintendo Switch, because this came out to other consoles and PC October of last year, and it got decent reviews. I'm thinking.
I remember us talking about this.
7s. Yeah, I think we did. This is made by CyberConnect 2. They're the people behind the Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm games, which are the same kind of arena fighters that
this kind of looks like your shit.
Yeah, no, it does. I liked those Naruto games. I generally like this anime. I haven't watched too much of the second season yet. That's out.
Is this a fighter or is this a?
Yeah, it's like an arena fighting game. So it's a 3D world, and you're able to kind of bounce around on geometry. It's not like a Street Fighter thing where it's just you fighting. There's a lot of running around, but yeah, it's a fighting game. It seems. I bet this is okay. The CyberConnect 2 ports of the Naruto games on Switch, I'm not saying we're bad, but if you're gonna play a game like this that is meant to be pretty and fast, probably wouldn't pick the Switch as the first first console to play these on.
Yeah, I can see that being true.
I think this would be much better on PC or PS5 or something.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But it's there. If that's your only option, then you have that available to you. Also on the 10th, Super Mario or Mario. Is it just Mario Strikers? Is it not Super Mario Strikers?
It's just Mario Strikers, I think.
Wow. Not so super. Mario Strikers Battle League is coming to Nintendo Switch. Johnny, is there anything else that you need to tell us about the game other than the demo stuff the tutorial demo stuff that you played?
I'm just glad that another one of these exists after 15 years.
All right. I'm looking forward to see how they do with it.
Yeah, same.
The animation is insane.
That is true. Also on the 10th, there's a lot of stuff coming out on the 10th. Metal Max Xeno Reborn is coming to PC, Switch, and PS4. This was originally a PS4 and Vita game that came out in 2018, but this is a Japanese series that goes back quite a bit. It goes back to the Super Nintendo days, and but we just didn't get many of them over here. I think a couple of them have come over here before, maybe like a couple DS games if I remember right, but not much at all. They say this is a remake, and I'm looking at this and I'm thinking it's maybe just a remaster. I don't see anything here that makes me go like, whoa, wow, you're really taking advantage of today's graphics.
That person had a lightsaber.
Yeah? it's a JRPG, all right, but also it's like a Mad Max thing where it's a bunch of deserts and cars.
There's a mantis flying.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of weird stuff in here.
What the hell is this, Chase?
It's like a JRPG, except sometimes you drive a bus that shoots missiles and has tanks and
a dog.
Is this on your radar?
There's a dog with like a bazooka on its back. Yeah, absolutely.
I kind of feel like I need to play this.
I also kind of feel that. I can also tell you it's $40. Do what, Bobby?
This looks bonkers.
It does look bonkers. It looks bonkers in a kind of cool way. But it is $40, and I don't know if I'm $40 excited for this. I also can tell you that it has
syringe. Oh my god, that dog had a what?
Yeah. Yeah. No, there's a character that fights with a giant syringe, and yes, there is a dog with a bazooka on its back. It's JRPG. This game also has a sequel that's coming. So yes, it is a long-running series, but it seems like this Zeno, the Metal Max Zeno game, is like a separate thing that's kind of its own story.
Is it like the Persona of some other series?
Yeah, sure. I guess. Yeah, I guess that would work. So it seems like there is a second Zeno game coming out sometime this year.
I'm mesmerized by this.
This is wild.
I'm a little bit too. I looked at this when I was looking at trailers, doing research for what was coming up. I went like, this is stupid. And then I watched a little bit more, and I went like, "This is stupid." And
yeah.
I'm like, okay, I might have turned a corner on this. I might need to see what this is about.
This looks fucking crazy.
It really kind of does. Again, $40. I'm not so sure.
I'm telling you right now, Chase. I'm just telling you. I'm telling you what to do. This needs to be a Chasey K Plays series.
I don't know about that, but we'll talk about it when we get to our picks for this month. And then lastly, on the 10th, we're getting The Quarry, which is a PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X release. This is a new survival horror game from Supermassive, the Until Dawn people and the Dark Pictures anthology people. Yeah.
This thing's getting all kinds of crazy buzz right now.
I'm sure. Supermassive has done amazing facial capture stuff. Like you're seeing right here, former WCW heavyweight champion David Arquette. That is true and real and still weird. He's in here. Gideon from the Righteous Gemstones. Nice. He is one of the kids in here. There's some other people who look relatively familiar to me, but I don't know them all that well. But yeah, this is the new Until Dawn, and I don't remember how people felt about the Dark Pictures anthology. It seemed like people were a little. Do they? I thought people were a little lukewarm on those. I know people loved Until Dawn, and this seems like it was getting back to that kind of a.
I don't know if this is something that I'll play, but I definitely I have a curiosity. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like I'm a scaredy cat. This is not usually my thing. I watched other people play Until Dawn and had a good time with it. I guess if somebody did that with this game, I'd probably watch it. But I don't think I'm going to play it. But pretty cool that they're making another one of these, because outside of the Team Bondi LA Noire stuff, this is the best facial capture I've ever seen.
It's very good.
These guys do pretty incredible work. Let's move on to the 16th, where we're getting Redout 2 for PC, Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. You know, guys, we're not getting a new F-Zero. We're not getting a new Wipeout. Actually, if you do want a quote-unquote new Wipeout, you can go find there's a new I think it's a new updated ROM of Wipeout Pulse that I think adds a bunch of new tracks that are fan made. So if you want some new Wipeout, you can get some new Wipeout. But if you want something a little bit more legitimate, then Redout 2 seems to be your option. This looks slick. It's on everything. It's on all the things that you'd want it to be on. I like futuristic racing games. I wish they weren't all so fucking hard. It seems like they're almost all universally ridiculously hard. Yep. But this one, I think people liked that first Redout, and I'd be willing to.
When did that come out?
4 years ago.
Man, I bet you like this game 4K high refresh rate display would just look fucking stellar.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. I bet it would be a great showpiece.
Yeah.
2016 was the original game. Came out on Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and PC. So I remember seeing ads for the first game. They showed up on YouTube quite a bit, and I've also been seeing a lot of YouTube pre-roll ads of this one as well. On the 17th, we are getting a port of Omori for the Nintendo Switch and the PS4. This was a 2020 indie game, kind of taken from that Earthbound Undertale style. It's psychological horror RPG.
People really like it.
People are pretty hyped for it. It's made by a team that's led by an artist and clothing designer named Omocat. I'm not a big horror fan, but as I mentioned earlier, but I do like Omocat. I've followed them on Tumblr for quite a bit of their career, and just really like seeing their art. And this game seems pretty cool. I was pretty excited about this when I saw posts about it, and just it wasn't on a thing I owned, but now it's going to be, and I kind of want to see what this thing's about because it looks.
You think you're gonna pick it up?
Lot. I think I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the psychological horror is not my favorite thing, but I think a lot of what this game is doing is stuff that I dig, so I want to see that.
It looks really interesting.
I like the way it's that mixed media stuff of here's a lot of stuff that is just definitely paper and pen, and then it goes to the pixel-based Earthbound-looking stuff, and I want to see how those things play together. On the 21st, we're getting Fall Guys. You guys remember Fall Guys?
I do.
Yeah.
That happened.
I had fun for a few things.
I had fun until it didn't work many times and had server problems, and I guess that stuff eventually got fixed because people are still playing a lot of Fall Guys. But yeah, this is Fall Guys coming out. What's up?
How it's retained such an audience.
It's the same. It's like, I mean, it was free for a lot of people.
Yeah, it was free on PlayStation Plus. It had that Rocket League bump kind of thing of people just all got into it at the same time.
People that will it's the same Among Us, Roblox, Minecraft.
Yeah.
It's better together type shit.
It grabbed an audience, and a bunch of people fell off, but then it kind of slowly just kept an audience and kept growing it. Anyway, this version of Fall Guys is coming to Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. It's already on PS4. But it's also going free to play, and it has crossplay and cross progression. And if you'd already purchased the game, and I imagine this goes for people who had the PlayStation Plus version because you own it, you get like a Founders Pack that has some extra cosmetic gear in it.
I would check this out on stream with you guys.
Yeah, I could see that. It's been outside of like those 2 weeks in 2020. I have not touched this game at all.
Free, we can play it wherever we want to.
I think it's also getting pulled from Steam and just going on the Epic Store.
Is it really? I could see that.
Yeah.
So I'd be kind of interested to see what this game is in 2022, if it's even recognizable from the game that I remember in 2020.
Sure.
Moving on, also on the 21st is the Shadowrun Trilogy, which Bobby mentioned as a package of games that are coming to Game Pass this month. That's coming out to Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. This is a trilogy of classic turn-based tactical computer RPGs. I hear these are good. I hear people talk them up. and I'm kind of intrigued by them, but there are other beloved PC Western computer RPGs that I'd probably play before this. Planescape Torment, which is also on the Nintendo Switch, is one that I hear talked up even more than these. But
I'll be checking this shit out for sure.
And it does. It is turn-based tactics, and you know how much we love that at the casual hour.
What game am I thinking of? I did not know that this. I was thinking of. It's like an arena. It's kind of like Quake.
So there was a Shadowrun game on Xbox 360 that was an arena first-person shooter, and it is based in the same Shadowrun world.
Got it.
But it was a different genre. Yes.
Fuck, dude. I would have been more excited about this. I thought it was just that.
No. Yeah. I think that game kind of came and went. I do remember playing.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
I do. I played that first-person shooter. It was fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this
looks cool as shit.
Absolutely. This seems like it's got some of those vibes that a little bit like Disco Elysium in there.
Yeah.
A little bit Wastelander. Sure, yeah, just all that stuff that's CRPG stuff. Because these are classic CRPGs. That's exactly what they are. Moving on from that, also on the 21st, Wreckfest is getting a Nintendo Switch port. This game's great. I don't know what else do you want us to say. This game's great. We've quick looked this before. People should absolutely play it again. It's fun to knock over Bobby in a bus with a bus and have him yell at you.
That was some of the most fun I've had on a stream, playing that game with you guys.
The demolition parts, absolutely. I remember when we played the race and you guys were like, okay, this isn't that much fun anymore. But the demolition stuff, heck of a lot of fun, especially the ones where you're in the lawnmower, just the lawnmowers smashing each other. We had such a great time with that.
Yeah.
What a good game. Again, similar to other things that we said, I don't think Switch is the best place to play this game. If you want to get all of its speedy, smashy glory, I'd suggest somewhere else. But if it's your only option, again, it's a pretty solid option. And I'm trying to think of what other racers you'd really want on the Switch. You've got Burnout Paradise, that's on there. You could grab that. I think Need for Speed, Hot Pursuit, that game eventually came to Switch. Then you've got like your Mario Karts, and then you've got like games like Redout if you want to play those. But in terms of, well, not real cars, because these are all fake cars, but if you want cars that are based in reality, you don't have a ton of options, and I think Wreckfest is one of the more fun options for that. If you don't have something that can run Forza Horizon, then it's definitely one to check out. On the 23rd, Sonic Origins and all of its different fucking versions that nobody knows how to read its weird visual chart of what comes with what. It's coming out to PC, Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. Let's tell the folks what this is. This is a collection of 4 Sonic the Hedgehog games. It is Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, and Knuckles. It's got the Knuckles stuff baked into it, apparently. And Sonic CD. Those are your games. It has classic modes for each of those that are the 4x3. This is what the game was. It's basically just a ROM. But then that also has anniversary mode editions of all of these games that presents them in that presents them in 16:9 widescreen and takes out the concept of lives, so you just have infinite lives, and also adds in some extra functionality. The Sonic Mania Drop Dash is now available in all the games, I believe. And I think you also have the ability to pick 2 characters, and they can be any combination of Sonic, Tails, or Knuckles. So you can have Knuckles and Tails, you can have Knuckles and Sonic, you can have Sonic and Knuckles, and similar to Sonic 2, the other character just trails behind you and can get into all sorts of shenanigans when you play that. I think that's what this is. There are also some new animated scenes that are done by the same people who did the ones for Sonic Mania. In fact, many of the Sonic Mania people are working on this as well.
You think you're gonna get it?
It's the deluxe edition that has all the stuff.
$60, right?
I think it was 45.
Okay.
Which is still a lot of money for 4 games that I already own in multiple different ways, and also have ROMs of that I could pull up at any time, but they're not in widescreen. I mean, yes, I'm probably gonna get this.
I wish you hadn't described all that, because I was not interested in this at all.
I know. I wasn't interested either until I had to do the research for it.
Here's what I'll say: if this is a game that you like, this is the best way that you can play these games right now. Like, that's the truth. Like, if you're a fan of Sonic, this is the absolute best way to play these games.
And 3 is okay.
Right.
So
you're both right.
It's a situation where, like, if you are a fan of this, like, you're not going to find a better way to play this right now, commercially, and probably not even emulated.
Probably not.
So I would say there's as much as, like, I probably won't pick this up. I can definitely see, like, the appeal for folks.
I would play it in anniversary mode and really enjoy myself.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. I definitely do not need to play the ROMs of these games. I can play those whenever I want. But playing these new versions that are slightly tweaked, I'm kind of interested. And honestly, the thing I'm most excited about are those new short animations. Which I could probably just pull up on YouTube and probably just enjoy that way. But I love those little animations. The what?
It says there's at the end of this trailer. It says, hang on a second, let me pull it up here.
Yeah, please.
So the digital deluxe gets you the bonus hard missions, the additional music tracks, the letterbox background, the character animations, and then island camera.
I don't know.
Johnny, let's have you research that.
Okay.
We'll put Johnny on it.
Yeah, some of this seems silly, like letterbox backgrounds. That sounds pretty unnecessary. The additional music tracks, I can tell you there will be tracks from Knuckles Chaotix. I almost said the best Sonic game, but that's just not true. I love Knuckles Chaotix, but I can't lie to you. That is not the best Sonic game.
It is $44.99.
Okay, but what's the island camera? That's what we asked. I think it also might have Bean Machine tracks in it.
Nice.
Doesn't say what it is.
Bean Machine's so good. I almost went on a rant about, like, why isn't Bean Machine in this collection? But then I remembered they've already brought that to. It's already on Nintendo Switch Online. Like, there are ways to play Dr. Robotnik's Bean Machine on your Switch.
True.
Like,
it's true.
I can't be mad about that anymore. Let's keep moving on. I know we're kind of running out of time here. On the 24th, AI, the Somnium Files Nirvana Initiative is coming to PC, Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. I own the first Somnium Files game. It's like a visual novel. It has a lot of Persona vibes to it.
I was going to say I'm getting that for sure.
Yeah.
There doesn't seem to be consensus on what island mode is. I'm seeing several guesses.
We'll find out on the 23rd. I'll tell you that.
I found an article that said it could be this or it could be that. So
okay,
nice.
We'll see.
But for AI, I own that first game. I have not played it as the Chase Kaneki way demands. But it is a visual novel that kind of is like an investigation mode, and you're trying to solve a murder, and it doesn't have any combat.
Okay.
But other than that, kind of feels a little Persona-y, and someday I'll play that first game, and if I like it, then I'll probably end up playing the second game. But until then, I can't really tell you much more.
Fair.
Also, on the 24th, Capcom Fighting Collection is coming out to PC, Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. This is 10 games.
A lot.
We can go over them. You guys haven't played basically any of them. I basically haven't played any of them. It's basically, it's not every Darkstalkers game, because there were lots of different arcade editions of the Darkstalkers games, and they're all named different in Japan than they are here, which makes things even more confusing on what's actually there. But there are 5 Darkstalkers games. Man, easy for me to say. There's also Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, which is one of the best puzzle games ever made. There's also Super Gem Fighter Mini Mix, which is taking the character models from the sprites from Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo and turning them into a fighting game, which I hear is okay. Cyberbots Full Metal Madness, which is where I think his name is Jin. I think that guy from Marvel vs. Capcom 2, that's where he comes from. Red Earth, which I don't think came out in the States before. I think this is new to us. Not sure. Don't quote me on that. And then also Hyper Street Fighter 2, the Anniversary Edition, because you got to put a Street Fighter in here. And I think this one is it's not like a Rainbow Edition where it's ridiculously crazy, but this one is, I think, supposed to be some faster, weirder version of Street Fighter 2.
Okay.
So it's got all those. It's got like a ton of concept art. Capcom has done a pretty good job with putting in the extra content to make these really feel like anniversary things. They're not just spit out with 10 rooms. But these are all relatively obscure fighting games. They're all going to have online play though, which is interesting. Maybe a double-edged sword. On one hand, hey, it's great that all these old games are getting online play, ways to play them again. Same time, you got 10 of these already obscure fighting games coming out. I can't imagine you're going to be able to easily get a match on any of these because you put out so many at one time. Mm-hmm. You're really splitting your user base there. But we'll see.
We shall see.
Also on the 24th, Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes is coming to the Nintendo Switch. I just can't allow myself to be excited about this. I just can't.
I mean, who knows? Right?
So here's the thing. I don't like the original Fire Emblem Warriors. I think its story sucks. It's got a couple original characters who suck. It's a shallow, nothing experience, and I didn't really love the way it implemented Fire Emblem into the Dynasty Warriors fold. Since that game, we've gotten other Musou-style games with Nintendo properties and non-Nintendo properties, and those have been pretty good. That last Zelda one, we were all pretty excited about.
Dropping frogs, baby.
Which was definitely better than the first Zelda Warriors, first Hyrule Warriors they made. So
maybe that's happening here.
Part of me is holding out hope. Also, it's a much more focused story. It's just the three houses story that's happening here. This is actually what takes place during the time skip, where Byleth is like in another dimension there for a bit. Although Byleth is in this game, so I don't know how that works. They're gonna have to explain that one. But you do kind of get to see all these characters in their mid time skip attire. They all have new looks to them. Some of them quite bad, according to fans. But seeing that it is taking this more focused approach, I think it's got a better chance of being good than the original Fire Emblem Warriors did. But even still, I can't. It's not going to be on my picks this month, I'll tell you that. But I'll probably still end up buying it because And
it's a Fire Emblem game.
It's a Fire
Emblem game. It's a Dynasty Warriors game. Like you made a chase game. It's just a chase game. I don't think I'll like. But you did make it just for me. So, damn it.
Yeah.
And then we got a couple pieces of DLC that we need to talk. DLC expansions. I don't know exactly what they are. Maybe you guys can shed some light.
I think these are both pretty big expansions.
Okay. Both on the 30th. First one, Outriders World Slayer, coming to PC.
I'm so surprised by this.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, it got...
I don't know.
People played Outriders.
I didn't
think they didn't love Outriders.
Yeah,
people played Outriders.
I don't know. This has probably been in the works for so long that
they said when they first put that game out, like, hey, we are not a Destiny. We're not a live service game. We're not going to do this. If enough people buy this game, we'll make more content. And enough people bought that game, and they're going to make more content. Now, do people love that game? Not really.
Dude, they're ripping on Destiny so hard on this now.
They are. Watching this trailer, it is all grasping at straws, in my opinion.
Yeah.
What is this? This doesn't look like Outriders anymore.
No.
It looks like you're pulling every aesthetic choice you can. Like they have gone full Fortnite here, where it's let's just take all the aesthetics and put them in here and see if any of them
sticks. Yeah, dude.
There's this medieval bullshit in here. There's sci-fi bullshit in here. I thought we were trying to protect a world and bring humanity to a world. Like what happened here?
Well, and I don't know. I think this is $40 too.
Okay, that's
I don't know, man. Like I rather enjoyed some aspects of Outriders until I didn't. And everything about the ending of that game fucking sucked. So it was just like, why even put the time in if the...
What was the ending? What happens?
There's not... The ending is like pretty open, but I'm talking more about like in-game shit where like it isn't a live service game. They weren't going to be doing seasons. They weren't going to be doing shit. So it's just like, why keep playing this game that you've got all the trappings of what you would have in a live service, but none of the stuff that keeps you coming back to it. And if this is just like another like expansion story without that stuff, like I don't know if I really want to do it. Like I've got a really good one of these that I used to play that I don't even want to play anymore, which is Destiny. So like, why would I want to? Yeah, I don't know. I'm
why
very
would you
confused
want to play
by
bad
this.
Destiny?
Right.
You don't even.
That's always been my question. Here, so I don't see from this trailer. I don't see any places to hop while a load happens.
No hop, no sail.
I think I'm out. And you obviously didn't listen to fans. That's what we're looking for.
And I'll be pretty busy on that day anyway.
It sounds like you guys will. I'm just going to kind of take the rest of the show off here while you guys tell me more about Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, which is coming to PC and Switch.
Yeah.
What's happening with this?
Admittedly, I've been pretty radio silent on this. Like I know I'm going to get it, and I know it's going to add in some more of the new movesets you got from the Wire Bugs, and I know that it's adding in some new monsters, but bringing back some legendary stuff as well. You know that Johnny and I love this game. It's like I didn't even have to think. Like I know I'm buying this. Like I will get this. Absolutely get this. New world hub, new weapons, new gear, new all the shit you would want from it. So we're actually going to be spending some time this month leading up to the release to try and get our characters ready to go for this expansion, and I'm very excited.
All right. Well, sounds good. All right, boys. It is time to make some picks and then get the hell out of here. Bobby, why don't you go first? I imagine this Monster Hunter game expansion is going to be on that list. Am I right?
You are right. Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak at the top of my list. Coming up beneath it, I have Soldiers. And then I put Diablo / Outriders, and I think we know that Diablo has won that. And so I was going to put just backlog, because I personally didn't see a ton of stuff in June, but I think now with Monster Hunter, that's going to be a pretty big time suck, and then I'll check out Soldiers. And
it's June 30th, so really that's your July.
Yeah, for sure.
That's not really your June.
I bet you I will play a lot of Diablo this month.
Well, I also bet that something's going to stealth release this month because of Summer Game Fest and all that stuff that we're probably going to end up playing a lot of that instead, whatever the hell that is. Johnny, how about you?
Mario Strikers.
Sure.
Real excited for that one. March to Hunter Rise Sunbreak. I have a decent amount of stuff I need to get through because I put most of my time in on the Switch and I haven't reached where I was with my new character on PC yet. And Metal Max Xeno Reborn.
Okay, now we're fucking talking. All right. As for me, KOTOR 2, you heard me say one of my favorite games ever. Definitely going to play that again once that restored DLC shows up. Omori, also been one I'm looking forward to playing eventually. Now that it's coming out, a thing I have. And then I'm torn. I think I'm gonna end up buying that Sonic game.
I probably will too.
I think I'm gonna end up buying that Fire Emblem game. I'm just not super excited to do either of those. So you know what? Fuck it. I'm also going Metal Max Xeno Reborn.
Hell yeah.
I just want to know what that is now. I'm stuck.
Yeah.
I'm stuck. I need it. I need it in my life, in my bones. Bobby, help us wrap this show up and let us go to bed.
So we've got a lot of stuff happening this week. We talked about Heartspace Shipbreaker. We played that on stream for Casual Mondays. We quick looked at. Go check that out. We told you all about those games that we've been looking forward to and maybe not looking forward to for the month of June. Tonight, Thursday, we are going to be putting up a quick look for a game called Loot River, which is cool. Check that out. It'll be 10 a.m. on youtube.com/casual hour. And Friday night, join Bobby and Johnny for sure. Maybe Chase as we hang out and shoot some Nazis in Sniper Elite 5 on stream. It'll be a great time for sure. We want to say thank you for tuning in and listening to our show. If you are wanting to follow along with what we do, you can hit up that stuff in the chat there. Chasey K, what do you got going on?
Chasey K's got news. Chasey K put up a new episode of a new series. I'm playing through Steam World Heist, calling the series Cowbots and Aluminum. Which, anybody remember Cowboys and Aliens?
Yes.
That was not a very good movie, but it was a movie though.
Because it looked bad.
Daniel Craig's in it though. He was James Bond.
I know. I haven't seen most of the James Bond movies that he's been in either.
Well,
I've seen 2, I think.
Skyfall's very good.
Skyfall's pretty good. Casino Royale's pretty good. There's a couple pretty good.
I like
ones.
those 2 a lot.
I loved Bond movies.
I mean, Quantum of Solace. It's an impeccable movie. You can't beat that, right? You can beat that.
That's the really bad one, right?
Skyfall. Have you seen Skyfall, Johnny?
No, I've seen Casino Royale.
Skyfall's fucking good.
Is Skyfall the one after Casino Royale?
No.
Third
one.
Isn't it every other one is good?
Yes.
Okay.
I suppose.
I've seen a good one and a bad one.
I would say Skyfall might be one of my favorite, if not my favorite Bond movies, period.
Anyway, I'm playing SteamWorld Heist on my YouTube channel. You can check that out at Cheesecake Plays. That game is pretty cool, and I'm looking forward to showing it off more. Maybe I'll even get one of these guys to come on one day, and I can kick it with them while I do some cool tactic shooting stuff. And then Games on the Go. I'm sure there will be another episode here in the next handful of weeks as Bobby and good friend of the show Jiggy-san we're still playing our playdates, and we'll talk about what's new on those devices here pretty soon at gamersonthego.com. That's all for me.
That's our show. Appreciate y'all being here, hanging out, listening, and tune in Friday night for some good times with shooting Nazis. We'll talk to y'all then. Bye.
Bye.